Alright, so I just experienced the issue with the auto cycle dump valve again. So I'm going to give Chris a call and talk to him. I got it to work again. It's kind of the same process last time. Shut it off, let the pressure come down, give it a couple taps, fire it back up, and it'll cycle forward again. Again, this is the loss of pressure going forward. Backward it's fine, it'll build pressure, it just couldn't go forward. Or it would creep forward but wouldn't build pressure on the forward stroke. So I'll let you guys know what happens. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's a few days later, and unfortunately I got a little bit of work to do here, and you're going to see why I posted that short about the big old wrench. There it is right there. There's that massive wrench. That is a shiny new dump valve. And other assorted things that I'm going to need for replacing the dump valve. Unfortunately, there has been an issue with some of these dump valves. Wolfe Manufacturing is not the only company that uses this particular dump valve, and the other manufacturers have been having an issue with it as well. So, as you guys saw in the earlier part of the video, the splitter went down and I could not get it back up. Now, this failure happened one time before, and I was able to get it back up and working. But this time, unfortunately, not so much. Bring this up out of the way where hopefully it doesn't make a mess everywhere.
All day today.
Hopefully, most of the hydraulic fluid had drained out of this thing, just naturally. But I suspect, given my luck, that's probably not the case.
Worst case, I'll work on this later. Maybe. Well, it did sound like it was just bleeding off some of the hydraulic oil. Which I guess is good, because hopefully this thing's not gonna dump stuff everywhere. Almost got it off. Success. Well, when in doubt, take the whole shebang, work on it on the bench.
So, $70 tool to fix a warranty part. On the upside, it was $70, not the $169 ones that I saw like everywhere else. So, if you gotta buy tools like that, frickin' shop around. Unless you know somebody that's got one. So, I got some spare parts. Plug and a cap. One of those just in case moments. So I'm just going to hand thread that in there because there is no guarantee this weather is going to hold out on me. While I get the rest of this on here. So Chris said to Loctite some of these parts. Wasn't real specific as to what kind, because they use a little bit different brand, but he says do it. Frickin' do it.
Change the angle here a little bit.
Now, we may have the struggle. Because somehow, I gotta get this off of here. Whether we bang on it, or it simply comes off. Problem is, I don't know which way this guy wants to turn. I'm hoping this wants to go that way. And today, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey is not working for me. Ow. Alright, that apparently has a lock nut. You guys can see right there. Which is larger than all my freaking tools. So that guy's got an O-ring on it with a lock nut and a washer. So the hardest part of this was actually breaking the thing free. Alright, question of the day. Is it easier to try and work that free without taking the hose off? I'd say hell no, take that hose off, because you're not going to do it any other way. I'm not a hydraulic guy, but that makes sense to me. Always double check your O-ring. Make sure there's no cuts, pinches, anything like that on it, metal burrs. Make sure there's no trash in your valves. And definitely make sure you put the damn thing on the right way. I.e., if you're not sure, take pictures before you start taking stuff apart. That's as far as that guy is going to go. The upside to working with hydraulics, self-lubricating. So you're not chasing all the crap around. Well, alright, so when I was talking to Chris, getting ready for all of this, he told me I needed an 18-inch pressure wrench, UPS. Because this right here is 2 1/4, I think. Some of the crescent wrenches I found that were 18 inches were anywhere from 2 to 2 1/4. So just to be on the safe side, I ended up going with 24-inch, which opens up over 2.5 inches. If you're going to spend the money, probably should get one that's big enough to handle anything else you might do on here. Alright. Looks like everything's on there good and tight. Let's move all this stuff out of the way, off of the splitter. And fire it up and see if it holds pressure and works again. Alright. As far as tools go, obviously you need that big wrench. 7/16 for this guy right here. These are service wrenches. I've had them since I used to do HVAC. They really come in handy. I was able to get away with a 300 millimeter, probably a better measurement, 12-inch or 300 millimeter crescent wrench. The jaws on this one open up bigger than the jaws on this one, so probably 1 or 2 15-inch wrenches would do you, plus the larger one for your main valve, and maybe a small one for that small 90 that is on the other side of the valve. Beyond that, tool-wise, I think that's pretty much it. So let's get this thing fired up and see what we can do. Alright, just real quick away from the splitter. Because I like preparing for the worst, I talked to Chris and he told me that it's a number 16 SAE thread. So you get yourself a plug with the O-ring and a cap. The plug, if you should have the failure and you need to keep running to finish whatever job you're on, plug goes in the top of the valve, and the cap just caps off your hose going into your hydraulic tank. That way you don't get any dirt in there, but that right there is your big one, just so that you can theoretically build pressure again. So let's get back to it, test it, and see what we got. Alright, it works again. That's probably the first video on replacing the dump valve on one of these. I'll have to cut this down. I think I'm at 41 minutes now, so we're back up and running. Good to go. Catch y'all later.